What do you mean? Okay.
Okay, we're starting it because the first argument we're going to have here, or not argument so much, is going to be a discussion about whether or not Ruined Heroes is a functional name.
I think Ruined Heroes is a great name because, I mean, Ruined Heroes is essentially the theory is to talk about somebody in history or in that we know about or don't know about and tell their good and their bad side, right? But Rupert doesn't like the idea, so why?
I think it puts us into a box, and we have to ruin the hero rather than just simply question them.
Well, I don't think that. I mean, if we don't end up ruining a hero, that's okay. There's going to be.
But it implies we're going to.
Well, but it all started because I wanted to do that thing with Johnny Appleseed.
Right. We know. Okay, we don't care.
And I wanted to turn him into a bad guy, but I read a bunch about him, and I learned that you can't.
You can't turn a bad guy into a bad guy?
Yeah, he just kind of walked on water, quite literally, sometimes. It was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, ran around in a gunny sack, and stood on a post,
Okay, so Ruined Heroes.
So, yeah, Ruined Heroes, right?
You want questionable heroes. Questioning
I
heroes.
don't really care.
The quest for heroes.
I really don't care.
Hero Quest, it sounds like a fucking game.
It was. I don't know, it may still be.
Hello, and welcome to Ruined Heroes. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast where three of us sit around, drink beer, smoke, and discuss a hero of questionable character that you might not have heard of these questioning characteristics before. I'm Rupert Hughes, your pleasant guest host, who has not researched this topic at all. On my left is Tyler, who apparently has put some effort into this.
Yeah, I have like 9 pages of highlighted notes with color coding.
Tyler has written notes on paper, and John has a fancy-looking laptop. So these two have done due diligence. I showed up late with nothing but beer. And
it was Coors. It was Coors.
And it was Coors. So there you go. And so I think our hero today is a chap who recently was in the news named Prince. Someone I think was a pretty good pop musician, but that's about it. Not a rock god. So, maybe we should just start off with where we think he was. Like, do we really think that this guy was just it as far as rock goes and all the hubbub about him? I don't give a crap. I don't think he's that great. He's fine.
He was way more than normal as far as rock goes. I mean, the guy was a 30-year career, okay?
Yeah.
Influential throughout at least the mid-'90s. And then God showed up, roughly. And he started going a little off course. That's also when the heroin addiction came up. Well, it's not heroin, but opiate addiction came up, which is eventually what killed him.
From a replaced hip surgery, supposedly. But
there's lots of stuff out there if you read a bunch that he started it before. And if you watch, I watched a whole bunch of shit, because obviously, like I said, I have 9 pages of notes. His earlier performances are when he's jumping up in the air, landing in the splits, getting up, all that, in the high heel boots and all that. Well, years of that, and you're going to be kind of sore, I'd imagine. So, yeah, he's going to start taking something for the fucking pain. And so he starts offhand, non-prescription style. It's some of the rumor. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, so that's original. He started out being bright and spunky and then got into drugs. And I don't think that's ever happened to a rock star before.
Well,
I'm with Rupert.
There is that. Agreed.
And let's say jumped around. Let's start off with like the dawn of Prince in terms of songs people would know. Where does Prince start musically for most people?
His first album, For You, was produced or written and recorded when he was 17 years old.
Okay.
He produced it. It was the first and youngest artist.
First hit song people know of.
First hit song people...
Purple Rain or...
No. Long before Purple Rain. Long before Purple Rain.
I'm thinking like When Doves Cry. That's the first big one.
No, that was the same album. That was first single off the same album. All right. So the first time I remember him really...
Shows how much I've researched this.
Well, I'm with you, though. I'm going with the majority of society here.
The first time I really remember him was Little Red Corvette.
Okay.
I was riding with a baseball coach of mine in his Nissan Maxima, circa like 83, and I heard Little Red Corvette on the radio. And I remember that because it was, I think, Like a Virgin was on the radio also. It was a bunch of other shit like that. So I remember that. But he had songs like before that, like I Want to Be Your Lover.
Yeah.
I mean, his first album was For You, 1978. So disco was dying, punk rock was going commercial.
You know what? To me, 1999. Party Like It's 1999.
Okay, that's the 1999
with that
album.
weird album cover with his picture on it that was kind of...
It wasn't. That was no. 1999 was a purple album with big letters said Prince, and in the I was the first time the Revolution was mentioned as a band.
Mm-hmm.
It was spelled backwards in the graphic.
Okay, see, I remember Prince as popping up. I heard the song 1999, and I saw, who's this? And it was like, it's Prince. Who's Prince? Rick James' protege. And so I was sort of down with it because Rick James was so crazy, but like Rick James just had a few songs, but like kind of a bunch of people came out of him. But his songs, his hit songs, kicked ass. They were great.
It's funny because Rick James isn't associated with Prince as one of his influences.
Mm-hmm.
He goes with Sly and the Family Stone,
James Brown,
Jimi Hendrix. I don't argue that. Have you ever seen, you can type it into YouTube, the best guitar solo ever. And it's Prince playing with a bunch of other people at a George Harrison tribute.
Yes,
at an MTV
I've seen that
show.
endlessly.
Okay. It's a phenomenal guitar solo.
Yeah, I've got Facebook. Jesus Christ. I mean, the good thing about...
chances are I did that to you at least once.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Prince dropping dead is he took Bernie Sanders off my goddamn feed. It's just like all like Mr. Featherhead is up there, and it's just like, great, I'm supposed to get excited about a 90-year-old socialist running for president.
Rupert just dated this podcast. Up until now, you could listen to this 10 years from now, and now you're going to have to research and figure out who Bernie Sanders was.
I'm wearing bell-bottoms and drinking Coors. This is dated from the get-go.
It's Coors.
Look at me. Do I sound like a young man here?
There's light going on.
It is straight Coors. But I did wash the rat shit off the top of the can for him.
Okay, this is not... Nobody's...
I have very close family friends who work.
Okay, but like, you know, let's go with Party Like It's 1999. That was a good song, but it was just like a basic... dance
tune. It was a song for a decade. It was played at every fucking wedding ceremony.
And it's like, but I feel like everybody at that time, definitely at that time, went along with it like to get girls. Because girls were all into 1999. And it was just like, oh yeah, Prince, he's great. And it was just like all those things that like, if things had gone another way, it would have been just like another band like Flock of Seagulls, where like you pretended to like them, or the Thompson Twins, just to get girls, and then you didn't. And now it's embarrassing. You ever said you did, and you sunk that load trying to get a girl.
I never fully liked the Thompson Twins.
But
the Thompson Twins sucked.
A couple songs here and there that were pop hits, and that's it. Anyhow.
Okay, when you take a look at it, though, when he's putting out music, then you're getting the likes of Wang Chung. Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Look at the standard, right.
But that's,
right.
Okay, when the bar is here, it's not real high to climb over the top of the fucking thing.
It was actually, all right, 1978 is what we said. Yeah, 1978. Mm-hmm. So that is actually the time of the death of the Sex Pistols. Mm-hmm. Johnny Rotten was about to die. Okay. But David Bowie was hot, and disco was dying a slow death, like I said.
No, it was the dawn. It was the
78. We had in 80 we had New Order, right?
Oh,
or was it no?
Jesus Christ, we had like crap.
82 was New Order. So before that we had
Love and Rockets.
No, Love and Rockets was after them. The band before was Ian. What's his name? He fucking hung himself. God, the hell was the name of that band?
In Excess.
No, that was Michael Hutchence, and that was Oral Erotic. Or Autoerotic Association.
That was way later.
Yeah, that was the 90s, almost.
Whatever. Basically, what happened is like the whole punk scene was dying out, and the commercial punk scene, with like these commercial bands that were vaguely supposed to be spin-offs of New Waves, like dopey things like Thompson Twins and stuff, were spinning off, but they weren't punk at all. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying they were, but it's like all the good music died off, and we were left with stuff like Wang Chung, and we know it died off because David Bowie said he was cashing in and did the Let's Dance album, which he said sucked, and then like so it's like we've got just like a whirlwind of suck, and like how hard was it to shine out then?
Okay,
it's kind of like the Beatles. When everything else is shit, the Beatles look good. Okay, that's what there was.
No, here's the thing, though. That first album and the subsequent the next album, and then into the third album, and then throughout his career periodically. But those first two albums, first one, he played all 27 instruments on the album.
Great. I don't care how talented you are. It doesn't give you an excuse to act like
they do qualify it as a number of different types of bass guitar or bass, a number of different types of keyboard. So like a synthesizer and a piano are two different instruments, I imagine, and an upright bass and a regular.
Do you know how many people knew who did that? Everybody I know,
How many of them did it at 17 years old?
Everyone I knew who had a crappy ass 2-track
with a 6-figure contract
sat around and they didn't get any 6-figure contract.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't have like Rick James backing them.
Okay, so
wrong.
Okay. I don't know that it's wrong. I think it's a different, but he accomplished something that nobody really had done before that.
What?
The 27 Instruments first album, the 17-year-old release.
Oh.
It's true.
You know what? If you go and look at Rick Wakeman's Six Wives of Henry VIII album, he's got 20 zillion synthesizers listed there, along with the price of each synthesizer, and it's the lamest album ever. Sitting around like, yeah, I played all the instruments. It's not really that unique. Pardon me for modifying my superlative. It's not unique. It's like, it's great. It's an achievement. But it's not like singular.
He's good at what he did.
Yes.
Nobody else was able to do what he did at that time. It doesn't mean that he is unique or special. It just means that nobody else was doing it. It's real easy to be a shining turd when you're the only turd in the pile.
I think there's something to be said for that. Tyler's trying to open a beer here, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're wondering what's going on.
Set my mic down.
It's the only thing that's ever going to be quiet is trying to open up a damn beer.
Well, the mic's too far away to be heard, right? I think that Prince redefined that era, in all honesty.
There was just nobody else doing anything from...
Well, somebody had to...
It's not even an era.
Somebody had to carry it from one place to another.
What's the name of that era?
And he brought in pop music.
It's kind of like the taint. It's the taint of music. There's absolutely nothing going on between then and when grunge.
I don't know about you, but there's a fair amount going on in my taint.
Okay, you know what? Keep out of Rupert's dog.
This is a morning drive show. Nobody wants to hear about the taint.
Oh, did we forget to mention? Not good for the kiddos, maybe.
Yeah, because that's the dirtiest thing ever put out on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he came in something of a vacuum. I mean, let's face it, Wang Chung sold albums, and that's like a travesty.
Okay,
I call it the Holocaust.
They didn't have one, but two songs. They had two songs that hit the fucking radio.
Take Your Baby by the Wrist and In Her Mouth an Amethyst. Did everybody want to blow their head off then?
So the fact that you still know the lyrics to that should say something.
It's that horrible. It's that horrible. It's like the Zapruder film in my head. I hear that song, and it's like the skull cap coming off when he says it.
You get to talk about this in front of the class at Children of Alcoholics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because this has obviously traumatized you for life.
No, it's really just basically a story of my life. I get to talk.
Kept it around for how many years now?
Jesus.
I don't have to talk. I cannot talk, and we'll see where this goes. It's like the little audio line on the computer there is just going to be flatlined.
I don't think so.
No, okay.
So,
sure.
All right. So you're comparing Prince to Wang Chung and Tom.
No, I'm saying that there were a lot of awful things going on.
Change gears. Why don't you compare him to other quote great musicians or musical groups? I'll let you pick. The Who, the Beatles.
I don't.
Led Zeppelin.
And
Queen was happening.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about Queen.
Okay,
Jesus, save me, God.
So I mean, who do you want to call a musical great that you can compare him to instead of?
Okay. I've got a musical great. I've got a musical great right here that is going to blow this thing out of the water.
You don't have to talk me up so much.
I will talk this up into the toilet. Okay, to put it all in perspective, we've gone on about Wang Chung. We've gone on about the Thompson twins. And now I'm going to blow this baby wide open. It was such a musical desert. I would like to remind everybody that some of the most virtuoso musicians that never had a number one song, because most people thought they sucked, had a number one song in this time, that band being Yes. That's how bad it was. Yes gets a number one song.
Yeah, but Owner of a Broken Heart is the least Yes song ever.
Right. And before that, that Yes album that's not really a Yes album,
So Rush was
Drama
around
with
at that
Trevor
point in
Rabin
time.
came out, and that had a number one song
Van
too.
Halen's first album came out in the late 70s. I believe it was 78. So there were other virtuosos, I'll give you that. But they weren't driving pop the same way.
Well,
Oh, I don't know about that. If you listen to Van Halen with the the lowering the guitar, the hammer-ons and everything, like everybody started doing that after Eddie Van Halen started doing that. The thing of it is they didn't run around saying I'm a rock god. It was like David Lee Roth wearing assless pants.
David Lee Roth did run around saying I'm a rock god.
Yeah, he thought he was.
Like, I think that's actually in that LA show you can listen to on YouTube.
But everybody took it with decency. They all said like, yeah.
It's
nobody
just
took
the
it
cocaine
seriously.
and Jack Daniels.
Nobody took it seriously. Now, if you're sitting around and say Prince isn't a rock god, you get hammered.
All right, so 39 albums from 1978 to 2015. The first artist ever to have a number one movie and a number one album at the same time. Purple Rain took 29 weeks as the number one album in America. That's almost half the fucking year. That is half the year. Okay? 29 weeks.
No. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon was on the
Here's another good one. This one, actually, I totally wanted to bring it up because you all remember Tipper Gore and the PMRC, right?
Oh, God.
Okay.
If you're old,
After Tipper Gore, this is from the Wikipedia article, after Tipper Gore heard her 11-year-old daughter, Karena, fuck you, Tipper, if I mispronounced it, listening to Prince's song Darling Nikki, she founded the Parents Music Resource Center. Now, PMRC, for you young ones, if you have that parental advisory label on the front of your album, that's what she started, and it was a big to-do. And if you have want more reason to hit cores...
You got to take it a step back. Okay, before there were downloads, there were these things called CDs and records.
No, that was cassette tape.
Okay.
Yeah, there were no CDs.
And on the front of these things, they used to have stickers that said parental advisory. This was back when you actually had to go to a store and buy music. You actually had to get out of your house, get into a vehicle of some kind, travel to the store, and give money across the counter, and then you could walk back and then play it. Now you just go on and you don't see any of that crap.
Right, but okay, so here getting it back to Prince a little bit.
Just like porn.
No, iTunes doesn't have porn yet, but
of course, it's all just like porn.
All the porn I look at, I have to click and certify I'm 18.
Well, so here's the thing. At that time, when the PMRC was going big, and they were chasing off after lots of people, I wandered into a record store. Now, this was in the, I guess, late 80s, early 90s, because on the stand was Prince Love Sexy album. If you remember that one, that's the one with him buck naked on the album cover. Next to, Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking. Which, if you remember that album cover, before it got censored, because they released a second one, I believe, and I know they did for the Ritual De Lo Habitual album, but those two, heavy nudity, they were like, it was a Blockbuster in the mall or some shit. It was some, I don't know, what was Sam Goody or what were the other, it was a mall record
Tower
store.
Records.
Yeah, it wasn't Tower, because I was in Orem. I don't fucking know where I lived at that point in time.
Music Millennium.
Whatever. It was a rock album with a salacious cover.
Right. Ooh. Two of them, but it was a huge thing. Like, all of America was fighting, well, all of artistic America was fighting Tipper Gore. So that's when I started learning to hate that family. So it's Prince's fault, partially, for that one.
Look, let me tell you something. Tipper Gore was the most exciting thing going on in rock music at that time. Anytime Tipper Gore can show up on Nightline or wherever, one of those dopey political talk shows, and she's sitting there, you got Tipper Gore opposed to Frank Zappa and Donny Osmond.
Well,
that was exciting.
Tipper Gore is to be credited with making NWA's career.
Yeah.
Like, there is that. Like, they never would have gone anywhere even afterwards, if it wasn't for Tipper Gore being so opposed to him.
Yeah, and there was something like
So
that was the most exciting thing going on. That made the music like sort of vaguely, I don't know, going back to punk a little bit. It was like vaguely transgressive. Ooh, Tipper Gore's against it. Ooh, ooh, and that that was actually Donny
Did you
Osmond's
fix your
point.
phone? Jesus.
That was
Come on,
actually
we're
Donny
recording
Osmond's
here.
point, was that people would be buying music strictly because they wanted the salacious content.
Well, all right. So during that Tipper Gore flare-up and things with the PMRC, I was taking college writing. So I did my college writing 123 thesis on this. I did 20-some pages on this shit. I said, fix that crap. Come on, vibrate button or
All
something.
right, beef beer opening interlude.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, pull tabs in bottle caps, difference. I had to get a tool out.
Are you going to do it back in the My Day speech at this point?
Yeah, when I had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. I actually did, when I lived in Colorado, it was only one way, but it was 3/4 of a mile, roughly straight uphill to middle school. Hamilton.
Look, you'll
Middle
get no
School in
argument
Denver,
from me.
Colorado. Shout out.
You'll get no argument from me that Prince at that time was the most exciting thing going on in rock music other than David Bowie selling out. But to tell you the truth, like, I'm with John here. Like, I don't really see that as like that huge an accomplishment given the time. It's like it didn't take a whole hell of a lot.
The dude was good. He was good.
He was very good.
But
He was 7 Grammys, 1 Golden Globe,
look at his
an Academy
competition.
Award.
That's right.
And those
Look
are
at his
just
competition.
those are just the things he won, not the things he nominated. I had 16 pages, but there was this big layout of all the shit he'd been nominated for. It was incredible.
Again, look at his competition.
It was so trashy.
For his competition for what? 30 years? This is over
No,
30 years.
he wasn't
was
like
still getting
king of the
nominated
hill for
shit at
30
the end.
years.
Yes, he was still getting nominated
No.
for shit at the end.
No,
Shit, you
that
know.
was just. He
Okay.
was getting nominated for shit.
Then tell me how in the world that while he was still alive, you get people like Nicki Minaj and all of them that are actually winning the damn things if
Well,
he was
come
so
on.
fucking great.
It's partially his fault. We have people like Terrence Trent D'Arby, who I love, but only for an album and a half.
Okay, if I have a choice between listening to Wishing Well, I'm going to pick Bob Mould's version. Okay.
Totally different songs, by the way, folks. If you
Listen, you know what? You go, you look at a movie, and if a movie says it's been nominated for a whole bunch of awards and most of them are in French and there's 10 of them, that's a shitty movie. So that doesn't carry any weight with me.
okay,
Now, the movie, though, it did do... I remember when I was a kid, I was watching that Silver Spoons, that Ricky Schroeder thing. They had a whole episode that was devoted to him not
I
being
always
able to
wanted
go
that train
see
you could ride
that
around
show.
inside the house. That was awesome.
And it was...
Like a Mr. Rogers train, but life size?
Yeah, like like the little ones at the park where the kids get
Yeah.
on, and then there's the giant human.
And it's in the house?
adult- Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in the house in the show. You never watched Silver Spoons? What were you doing? Fucking women or something?
Yeah, I was
You do
actually
have,
like
10
going
years
out
on us, so.
getting laid.
Yeah, you got to remember we were like...
We were at home pulling our tallywhacker off to that little girl. What was it? Tracy Gold or somebody that was in that thing. Anyhow,
but they devoted a whole episode to this film and why this kid couldn't go to it. It was that, like...
oh, my mom
risque.
didn't let me go.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
I had to like
But I
sneak
remember
watch it
sitting
at
there
a friend's
thinking,
house.
even when as a kid, sitting there saying, why in the hell is this so freaking important that somebody can't go see it?
Because Apollonia 6 and your hands on her crotch with a reverse sound of baby crying? Oh, that's why. Because it was dirty
I
and
didn't
hot.
see how it actually merited any of that. I mean, no.
You and the phone, too? Jesus, fuck. I'm going to put a phone bag outside for you two. Put the phone down.
Good luck.
Jesus.
I might be making
What are you,
money.
15?
It
Might
tells
be
me-
making... It's Sunday. You can't ship... We already had this talk.
It tells
You
me
can't
when I'm
ship
making
anything on
money.
Sundays.
It tells me when I'm making money.
If your phone told you when you were making money, you'd answer to that damn thing too anytime.
No, my phone only tells me when I'm spending money when my kid calls.
No, it's
okay.
like my phone buzzes me when I'm
So fuck
making
my
money.
phone.
It's like a little square vagina in my pocket, but better.
It's a reverse vagina. It's like a little square
Infinite
ATM.
cosmic
Ding, ding.
knowledge.
I'm just telling you.
Teeny tiny living. All right, so the Los Angeles Times called Prince our first post-everything pop star, defying easy categories of race, genre, and commercial appeal. The New York Times described him as a master architect of funk, rock, R&B, and pop, and highlighted his ability to defy labels. There's another LA Times quote. Blah, blah, blah. Simon Reynolds called him a pop polymath, which is a great word, by the way, but it means... Anyhow, fitting between funkadelic, acid rock, deep soul, schmaltz, which other than being that rendered chicken fat, I don't know what schmaltz is, within the same song. All Music wrote that with each album he released, Prince showed remarkable stylistic growth and musical diversity, constantly experimenting with different sounds, textures, and genres. No other contemporary artist blended so many diverse styles into a cohesive whole.
Oh, God. Do you have enough toilet paper? Because that's
Well, I did print out 9 pages of this shit.
All right, so listen, you want to know who reads what's hot and what's creative and what has a lot of texture in the New York Times musically? You know who reads that? Guys who are about to get in their RV and are going to be on a 6-hour talk with their teenage daughter and want to sound hip. That's who reads that crap.
Not true.
True.
Your parents.
True. Yeah, my parents. Like, if we were hanging around outside of a courtroom, I could tell they had read the New York Times music column by what they talked about. Jesus Christ. I'd be sitting there going to the Ramones at CBGB's. They'd be like, hey, have you heard of this band, ABBA? They're really great. They're from Sweden. And it's like, you know.
And here's what I think of the LA Times headlines. Okay, I just pulled up the LA Times headlines, and right in here there's a gazillion of football references. The father of an 8-year-old killed in Culver City crash as teen driver flees cops. And Alexis Arquette's transgender activist and actress dies at 47.
Ooh,
okay, so let's just go ahead and think that they are the end-all, be-all of reporting when it's nothing.
It's not USA Today, though.
It's the LA Times.
It's not USA
And it's the one that you just quoted.
I quoted a bunch of shit, actually.
Saying that was great.
I quoted a bunch of shit, actually. All right. Maybe I say it a third time.
What transgender actress?
Alexis Arquette.
Oh.
Of the Arquettes.
Tragic.
I believe, right?
Wait, is she like Rosanna Arquette's sister?
No, I think it's an aunt, uncle. Obviously, it's a transgender, so...
Born into a factory Arquette.
Died as a female, born as a... Which do we know?
Died as female.
Died as a female. So it's her aunt, I guess, at that point in time.
With sisters Patricia and Rosanna.
Okay. Oh, really? Yeah, so it is.
Wait, so Rosanna Arquette has a transgender aunt?
Apparently had.
That was her sister.
How did we get... Well, okay, I guess transgender and Prince go in the same sentence. Let's go ahead.
Okay, I guess I'm the one person in the world, but I still think Rosanna Arquette's kind of sexy.
I know. I kind of have a thing for all of them except for David, quite frankly.
And you want to know? All right, you want to know sick? So this
it's the teeth in my world.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes. What the hell is with that?
Jacked up teeth are so hot.
I don't know what. She has the perfect jacked up teeth. Yeah,
all of them except for David, which he has like decent teeth, like better than British.
You just want to slap her in a pair of those cutoffs that show the bottom of the cheek and hang outside a place that sells soft ice cream at about 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? That's what Rosanna... And, like, to tell you...
But Patricia has that, like, 50s model shape and the same teeth, which is so good. Oh, my God. Love them.
See, Rosanna Arquette in Crash, where she's wearing the leg brace... Okay, so that'll give you a perspective on where my musical opinion is coming from. You know, place of deviancy and dementia.
And again, back to Prince.
But, you know, if Prince is sitting around for 30 years, he's this music. You know what you would sound like if you were sitting around, like, what's your favorite band? Prince. Oh, Prince, he's a genius. If you said that for, like, a couple of years after 1999, you'd be cool. If you were saying that for all 30 years, you would be... lame.
My guess is for the last 10 or 12 years, what he's been doing is sitting in his little castle like some Lilliputian Barney, just going off and saying, "Ha! Look what I can get him to do next."
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was doing.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And I'm the only one here with teenage kids, one of whom is a girl.
My kid's still a teenager.
Nah, he's like in college and into sports.
But he's still a teenager. And into sports, rapey culture. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, both of the girls are in their teens now.
Yeah, so fuck you.
I'm just saying.
There's lots of kids here.
2 girls.
Okay, so
May not be their dad, but I was around him for 8 years, so I figure that can kind of qualify.
All right, so
you did your
I
time.
dug this one up, and like John and I were talking about earlier when we accidentally started talking about this Prince thing before Rupert showed up, and then stopped. I was trying to find, because on the internet everybody praises the guy, and I didn't want to just research all the good shit, right? So I think I typed in "why Prince is an asshole" into Google, and that was my Google search, and I came up with
on
this,
the internet. You did this?
Yes, on the internet. No, I typed it into my fucking dictionary, and it magically opened.
Well, you need to be careful because Windows did actually come up with a dictionary at one point.
Well, wait a second. Yeah,
at one point in time.
Yeah, but I mean, who needs an encyclopedia site? It's called the fucking internet.
And you typed this into what, Google or something?
Yeah, totally into Google.
Okay, so corporate stooge.
Okay, so here's what I come up with. I come up with this place called Vulture.com. Okay. And they give a list of a whole bunch of things that make Prince an asshole or make him kind of a jerk. And so
24 outrageous Prince stories.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the first one was he held back an album after freaking out on ecstasy. This is a classic Black Album story where he made the whole Black Album and then he freaked out, decided it was evil, and walked away and made, Around the World in a Day or something, Sign of the Times, something like that after that, which was a fantastic album. I happened to get on the Black Album thing, bought a French-made. It was the bootleg of the century at the time. Well, I'd never heard the ecstasy thing until this. I'd heard the God Epiphany thing.
Yeah, no, when I was looking at a couple other articles, they both mentioned it was the God thing. He didn't want to do that. That was the only mention I ever heard of ecstasy.
Of ecstasy, right? And it seems kind of early. Ecstasy was pretty fucking young at that point in time in the black scene. But
well, and any time I've ever done ecstasy, it never made me see the devil.
Yeah. True. So there's the Renner's Nightmare one where apparently he snuck into a Hollywood mansion belonging to NBA player Carlos Boozer.
No, he
Great
rented
name.
it. He rented it.
I guess he did. Yeah, and then he proceeded to redecorate it.
Yes, one way,
including making a hair salon and shit in it. And Boozer apparently didn't like that and filed a lawsuit. I didn't find any other talk about this on the internet, and I didn't find any conclusion.
What he did is Prince actually cut him a check for over $1 million and said, "Shut up."
Oh, you found that out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Ruby, you can react. I know you didn't do any research, but
Prince actually dyed his fountain purple. Had purple water coming out the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Changed the gate to his symbol at the time.
Right.
And the master bedroom
it was the love symbol. It was an early version of the love symbol that he put up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We can get the love symbol later, but anyway.
Right, so Rockstar slung around money. Ooh, wow.
By renting a basketball player,
absolute cutting edge stuff.
By renting a basketball player's mansion and redecorating it without asking. Ironically, though,
wow, trash the hotel room.
Oh, agreed. It is kind of a trash hotel, but I came in and fixed the place up. Is a new take.
Is next week's episode Leonard Skinner?
No,
he
cut his fucking check and said, "Shut up," and that's pretty much.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Gee,
okay. So then
there's your problem.
Richard Nixon, rock god.
$1 million.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Okay, so then there's the door-to-door as a Jehovah's Witness, which, yes, he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Wow, unique.
When he converts, that's what you have to do. It's part of the, that's not a fucking surprise. That's what you have to do according to the Jehovah's Witness.
See, that's actually cutting edge.
Converting to JW, no, there's a bunch of those people. It's that or Scientology.
No, really, no.
Right?
No, actually, the religion is cutting edge, where if you want to be a member of it, you have to annoy people. I really like that.
And you're vying for being one of 212,000 people that gets to go to the promised land.
Look, you know what?
And how long are they waiting in line to find out?
Oh, they've got ways of justifying.
Ultimately, all the people have to die ever, and all of them have to be standing. And then God's got to pull out the notebook and say, "Okay, John Smith, number 586 QCR9.
Look, all I'm saying
Come on in. Wahid, number 96. No.
a truck could come plowing into this living room.
Ultimately, it's that or Scientology if you're that level famous.
What are you going to do if a truck comes in here, kills us all, you go up to heaven and God says, sorry, you're wrong, Jehovah's Witnesses, you're out.
That telephone pole out front of my house has been hit twice within the last 3 years. My mother's house, or former mother's house next door, not that she's former, it was formerly her house. There we go. Anyhow, truck did drive in the living room. That happens on this street. There was a car in the park or in the yard or across the street. It happens, so it could happen.
Yeah, okay.
Folks could hear a tragedy.
What are you talking? Okay, so
they are hearing a tragedy.
yeah, right now.
Podcast.
What are you talking about? The mean streets of the friendly district in
All right,
Oregon?
Jesus. Okay, so and then there's more about the door-to-door shit.
And stuff about somebody
JW.
busting a cap off in your mom's house.
All right, so this one I thought was hilarious because I totally call bullshit on this one, but he has a truly remarkable pair of roller skates. This was remember, I typed in why Prince is an asshole, and one of the reasons, number 5, in fact, is that he has a truly remarkable pair of roller skates. Okay, so it's this guy, Questlove, you ever heard of him? Apparently he was a hip-hop star of some sort, and he... What? I couldn't hear me.
Keep talking.
All right, so anyhow.
Nobody wants to talk.
So...
Stop it, John.
They're going roller skating,
He's just being too
and... Prince comes in, sets his briefcase down on the floor, opens the fancy lock, pulls out here's the quote, and took out the strangest, most singular pair of roller skates I had ever seen. They were clear skates that lit up, and the wheels sent a multicolored spark trail into your path. He took them out and did a big lap around the rink. Man, he could skate like he could sing. Now, like I said, I think that's pretty bullshitty. But really?
I don't even know where to start.
Why Prince is an asshole? Is he has badass roller skates that somebody dreamed up next to a unicorn?
You can go to Skate World right now, just over in Springfield, and you can see light-up roller skates. It's not exactly a modern thing. In fact, let's see here. Disco. Okay, let's just say disco and leave it at that and move on, okay?
Yeah, I mean, do you know how many, like, in the 70s, I used to hang out in Washington Square Park, how many guys I'd see coming along in the little tidy red satin pants and the huge headphones.
A lot of different places than I was.
And they'd be skating around, going backwards. So I don't know why these guys would show up in Washington Square Park moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, flipping around on these ruby red. Oh, yeah, I'm gay. I'm going to have ruby red slipper roller skates. Look at me, Mr. Original. And then they'd be lighting up and doing all this crap. And it was just like, I don't know how you're going to be sucking cock when you're moving 20 miles an hour on a pair of roller skates.
Ladies and gentlemen, the birth of the roller derby.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're familiar with that sport, but there's not a lot of cocksucking going on in it.
Depends. So anyhow,
it ends up in the theater later.
Anyhow, number 7. Or wait. Oh,
5
number
years.
6. Number 6. He will randomly challenge you to play basketball. There's actually apparently yes, he did play basketball, and he did in high school and football as well, which is surprising because the guy's like 5'4" and $108, $115. And he played football and basketball. And he was apparently decent. But, I mean, who's he playing? Matt Damon, who's 5'6"? And white?
And either...
How do you know he's decent? He paid him $1 million to say
well, no, because there was a Chappelle Show thing that Charlie Murphy played in. And it was based on a true story when he played, like, I don't know, some fucking basketball. I don't know.
Pretty much every article I read, he challenged the reporter to basketball. Now, I don't know if that started out as a thing that all the reporters picked up on, or if it was actually a thing that happened. It wasn't a lie that was perpetuated.
Perpetuated? There we go, that word shit again.
Word. Yeah.
It was made longer. Okay, so yeah, to the best of my reading, it looks like yes, there's at least some reasonable truth to the fact that he played a lot of basketball.
Yes.
So I don't know why that makes him an asshole either. He takes bootleggers out. Basically, he gets pissed off at people that steal his albums and sell them for no money. Going back to him, but that's just being a decent musician.
Yeah, so what?
He is an extraordinary multitasker. I think that's an upswing, not a downside, personally. He fired a crew member for making eye contact. Here's yours, John. Remember that one? Okay, well, I kind of make... This one's kind of bullshitty, too. Okay, like, here's the quote. This guy, a former Prince employee, is anonymous. Actually, anonymous Prince employee is what the article says. Why is that guy looking at... me, tell him to leave, is apparently what he said. I don't know, man. Prince was noted for being very particular and getting angry at employees and coworkers for not having, quote, quote, telepathy. I don't remember. That's in this big bucket notes, too, somewhere. But not being telepathic, not reading his mind and knowing what he wanted, which is why he did so much himself in the first place.
So, in other words, he's everybody's ex-wife?
Or parent. Or girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, like, who hasn't dated that?
Or teenage daughter.
Who hasn't dated that?
Yeah, so, okay, agreed.
So he was a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, so it was a little bit cunty, but it's not that bad. okay?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's really
it
bad.
really is.
I don't think a guy was fired for just looking at him strange. I think Prince had just fucking had it, but he's not listening, he's not listening. Get him the fuck out.
Well, let's see here. How would you actually listen to somebody? The first thing you do when you are attentive to them is look them in the damned eye.
Yeah, but you don't know what this guy was.
I don't know if you ever watched Prince do an interview while you were doing any of the YouTube videos. He's kind of a not looking in the eye guy. He wears a lot of sunglasses. Oh yeah, masks. Like he's kind of.
Oh God.
See, looking him in the eye is kind of hard in the first fucking place.
We'll take it straight back to my former argument. Does being talented give you the right to be an insufferable prick?
Well, okay. So, next, actually, I'm going to skip one. There, it goes into he likes speaking in riddles, which kind of does lend to the insufferable prick thing. There's one here that I did like, though. He doesn't believe in time. From the Notorious was a magazine, I guess, that this is quoted from. It says, "Your magazine probably won't print this," Prince said in a response to a question about his youthful appearance. "But I don't believe in time. I don't count. When you count, it ages you."
Yeah, so in other words,
again, on why Prince is an asshole?
He listened to a Cheech and Chong album in the early 70s with the Pedro and Man routine where Tommy Chong says, like, "Oh, I'm not into time, man."
A lot of these things in and of themselves aren't bad.
Mm-hmm.
As a totality, you're saying?
Well, because they only affect him. The fact that I don't believe in time, okay, you know what? Live on with your eclectic lifestyle. Nobody gives a shit. It's when he chooses to treat others adversely that we start having a problem. Now, if I don't believe in time suddenly becomes, well, I'm going to be 5 hours or 5 days late to meeting you, then it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Well, he was noted for running on Prince time.
Uh-huh.
Like, you scheduled an interview, and you had, like, 5-day stretch. You stayed at Paisley Park. And
or you get a call back in December.
No, what I read generally is within that period of time, eventually he would wake up one morning and decide to talk to you. Kind of what I'm getting at, and I'll continue with a few more of these. There was a couple about not liking Michael Jackson and his ping pong skills, and not liking being asked to sing on Bad.
Ooh,
and then there was something about a Homer Odyssey musical. And then there was a giant vault of unreleased music, which apparently there's a whole documentary on that shit.
Because everybody in the Brother has a giant
well, no, almost everybody you spoke to said that if Prince wasn't sleeping or eating, he was in the studio recording music. That's that's almost everybody you ever see that actually knew the guy says that. And there is thousands and thousands of songs apparently. But anyhow,
yeah. Well,
I love this one. He took out a nationwide personal ad. In December 1993, ads in several national magazines showed an obscured photo of Prince accompanied by the text, "Eligible bachelor seeks the most beautiful girl in the world to spend the holidays with."
Oh, does that not sound like a publicity stunt? Or what?
Does that not sound like a fucking copycat? I mean, that's a pretty big bullshitty stretch for me, too.
Wait, what are you saying? You think that's not true?
I think that's not true.
Oh. Wait, so the ad never occurred?
I think that somebody placed that ad. I don't think Prince placed that ad. I mean, because you could probably find the documentation of a bill. How many? Where was it?
No, who the hell knows? Maybe he was sitting around. Oh, I only eat, sleep, and record music, and he's thinking, I want to feel like a bunch of girls want me, so I take this ad out and just get the stroke there. That's what I'm thinking.
So Prince was romantically linked with many celebrities. This is again from the wiki page.
Everybody was back then.
Including Kim Basinger, Madonna, Vanity, Sheila E., Carmen Electra, Susanna Hoffs, Anna Fantastic, Cheryl Penn, Susan Louise, Vanity 6, Apollonia 6.
Everybody worked on her.
Agreed.
Ew! Did you just say that?
And his 2 wives that he had. Like, the guy was getting it on, especially with some of the hot chicks. Like, totally, when the Bengals
if you were 5'1" and had something to prove, you'd be doing everybody you could find, too.
Rockstar fucks a lot of women. Gee, newsflash.
Right.
Okay, so
what?
He's keeping up with Tommy Lee and Vince Neil.
So what?
Because I'm pretty sure both of them fuck Carmen Electra, too.
I think that the fact that he's getting plenty of bang on means that he's not putting out national personal ads. Somebody else pulled that shit off.
Or it could just be...
I don't really care.
Or it could just be
he
was trying to get a little bit of publicity.
Okay,
because I wouldn't doubt that in the least.
Then there's he doesn't let reporters record interviews, which is bullshit because there's a bunch of recorded interviews online. He believes doves have beautiful voices. Oh no, and far from the first fucking musician to record his animals. He hasn't cried since he was a child. Okay, so there's this thing like where his parents divorced, and that was the last time he cried, and he's never shed a tear before or since. And yeah, meh.
Okay, so what?
Come go.
So what? Don't care.
Yeah, right.
Next one.
He had a private hair salon. That's probably the one he built in that basketball player's house. His wife wasn't allowed to call him on the phone. He had 2 wives, so we'll have to see that one out. He released a recording of Kim Basinger's sex noises. Oh no, I didn't look for that. I should have looked for that. He kept a lawn ornament in the bedroom. So it was a 2-foot statue of a smiling yellow gnome covered by a swarm of butterflies.
Okay.
One of the monarchs is
Again,
flying out of a
eccentric, so
heart-shaped hole in the gnome's chest. How sweet.
You know what?
It was probably
I once... All right, this is a big admission. I once stole a lawn ornament, but here's what makes it good. First of all, I did it in Manhattan, where nobody has a lawn. So finding a lawn ornament is very difficult.
Well, you had to find a lawn to begin with.
No,
right?
there are no lawns. These people had a lawn
So they had
ornament.
like a lawn on a stoop.
No, it's even better. It was on the 2nd floor.
You aren't allowed to steal gargoyles from libraries. You
So-
took one of the lions.
No. It was an apartment building, and there's this lawn ornament sitting on this 2nd floor window. And it's been sitting there forever. We walk by it all the time.
Wait, so is this true 2nd floor, or is this like floor and a half because you have the garden
true
apartment?
2nd floor. It is so 2nd floor. It is so 2nd floor. It is like a few.
That it took 3 of you on each other's shoulders. To
Right,
get there.
and the best part is it's in a doorman building.
So you stole your dad's 20-foot extendable ladder.
No. We had to have one person stage a diversion, yelling around the corner and starting a fight to get the doorman to go around the corner. Then I boosted my friend up, and he stole the lawn ornament off this 2nd floor window. And so we did, And so we did it, and we were running away. We got this lawn ornament. And this was right around the time Prince started his career. And so we got this lawn ornament back, and then we were like, well, now what the hell are we going to do with this thing? And my friend says, I'm going to put it in my bedroom.
What's his name, Prince?
He could have been Prince. A very white Prince with red hair, but he could have been Prince. And so we didn't know what to do with it. So then we sent a ransom note for the lawn ornament.
So I may miss this. What was the lawn? Was it your standard garden gnome, or was it
No, it was like a lawn ornament of a baby. You know, I don't know why people gotta have
like a baby Jesus? Dude, you
know
stole
those-
the baby Jesus.
Yes,
on the
you know those
set.
fountains that are like they have a
You're
pissing
going
baby.
straight to hell. You're not one of the 212,000 people.
What?
Go ahead.
So they have those fountains with the pissing baby. It kind of looked like that, one of those things.
That's
you know?
called a mannequin piss. And just so the world knows, when I die, I want to be cremated, have my ashes mixed in with cement, and I want to be cast into a mannequin piss. And I've been saying this out loud to my family members for more than 15 years. So,
I've
now
heard
that the
it
world
for
knows.
20.
okay,
All right, what do you
better.
want? What do you want when you die?
Burn my ass up, put me out over the ocean. You know what? It doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna be dead.
Okay, John's got the 2 cools for school.
So
it doesn't
can I
matter. Thing.
can I
so
have
you know
like
what?
a
When I
rump roast
die,
or something then?
Huh?
Can I legally, can you will me a rump roast so I can try that shit legally? Or I'm just saying, if I'm old enough and I still have teeth.
You know what? If you truly want to grok me, there you go.
so when I drop dead, what I want is some sort of wake or something and if I'm in a car crash, I don't really give a crap. You still have a wake, and you put me together as best you can, and you get about, whatever. With my level of friends, maybe 5 or 6 people. And everybody's sitting there, and you have a really solemn ceremony, and in the middle of the ceremony, I would really love it if there were some sort of high explosives under my body, so I'd blow up and splatter everybody like Jaws. At the end of Jaws, where Roy Scheider shoots the
Blows
oxygen
up the
tank.
shark.
Yeah, blows up the shark, and
There's
you see
just
those
blubber and
the
shit
chunks
everywhere.
of it falling down. I want to be
Like a 21st century version of Moby Dick.
yeah,
and you're the
exactly,
white whale.
exactly. It's like I went to Rupert's
What
Wake
was
and
that,
got hit with a pancreas.
1972 on the the Oregon coast when they dynamited the fucking whale?
Yeah,
Blew it
yeah.
all over like 3 counties.
That's what I want.
Okay.
What happened with Prince's funeral?
Okay, so Prince's death.
Yeah.
On April 20th, Prince's
Nice
representatives...
segue.
Yeah, Prince's representatives called Dr. Howard Cornfield some great...
Jesus, that's a made-up name.
I know, right?
Dr. Howard Cornfield?
It was copy-paste from the wiki page. I didn't make this shit. I
Well,
copied
that's your
it.
problem. You went wiki.
Where is he at? What
This
is
is
he?
not college. I'm not getting called for lack of
What is he?
original. I
He's,
did add words in here and there. just to
Dr.
make it more
Howard Cornfield,
All right.
learned professor from
All right,
Miskatonic
and
University.
Dr. Rupert Blattenfield over here is going to be quiet for a second. A California specialist in addiction medicine and pain management seeking medical help for Prince. Now, this was, like I said, April 20th, and he's scheduled to meet with Prince on the 22nd. Ironically, on the 21st, there was a 911 call, and Prince ended up in the hospital, if I'm reading this all correctly. And then, let's see, the caller initially told the dispatcher that an unidentified person at the home was unconscious, then moments later said he was dead, and finally identified the person as Prince. The caller was Dr. Cornfield's son. So Dr. Rosenblatt and Cornfield, right, had the son that called. That's a little weird.
Rosencrantz, Guild, and Sterner dead.
I want to play a game of questions. Anyhow, the emergency responders came in and they performed CPR, even though he'd already been tried dead. I think it was somebody who wanted to fucking
not
make
dead
it.
yet.
Yeah, well,
That kind of situation.
slight narcoleptic thing.
How many girls were there
Oh,
then?
not narcoleptic. Yeah. All right. So anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
they were obviously unable to revive the dead man after 6 hours of being dead. Surprise. It's pronounced dead at 10:07 a.m., 19 minutes after they got there. So I guess they only made out with the dead Prince for about 19, 20 minutes. Still. Like, I was the last person to put my tongue
All
down
right,
his
we all
throat.
kind of. Was there anything notable about his funeral stuff?
I'm just waiting. Did they wait until rigor set in?
Okay, so it was an accidental overdose to fentanyl. There's discrepancies in the history of where the fentanyl came from. He
Who
may have been a
cares?
private source.
Who cares?
He was buddy with some doctors. had lots of
Shady
insurance.
dealer.
Okay.
Michael Jackson all over. We get it.
Oh, okay. And there's a sealed search for his state. They're looking at the pharmacy. And then he was scattered by some of the family, although there were roughly 30 people came forward after his death, claiming some part of his obviously vast estate. There was one point in time he was making $57 million a year that I found out somewhere. So he obviously had tons of fucking money and tons of property. And the judge threw everybody out except for 6 that were then subjected to DNA test to establish actual relations. One of them is his sister Taika. Only pictures I've seen of her were when she was really young. She was also a musician, obviously not of the same prominence. And when she was younger, she was all kind of pretty Jackson-y, early Jackson-y, and in the later years, after Prince died, where she has purple hair, I don't know, probably an homage. And a couple of brothers. She was the only full-blood relative of his parents, who were Mattie Della and John Lewis Nelson.
Okay, so the long and the short of it is Mr. I can pay $1 million for my
Had
hairstyles.
himself burned.
He couldn't
and-
afford a will.
No, he
couldn't
didn't
afford
really
it.
do it. He didn't believe in time. He wasn't counting. Didn't you remember that part? Come on. So
You know, Culture Club, another crap band there. Culture Club couldn't believe in time either. How cool is that? Yeah, I'm really into Boy George.
is apparently still killing it on stage, I hear. But mostly in the
give
Queen
me
set.
time. Yeah.
Come a chameleon. Yeah, I know.
So is
Yeah.
Darcel.
No, Darcel died.
Darcel
I
died.
shit you not. Darcel died. Was it Darcel 16, 21?
15.
Yeah, Darcel died. Just anybody who doesn't come from the Pacific Northwest, Darcel's is a drag club in Portland, Oregon that is world-renowned, to my understanding, as one of the oldest and strongest and longest-lived ones. And it was started by Darcel 15, and she just recently died. So there's that moment of silence, and we move merrily along.
She was really ahead of her time. She was an innovator. She was dragged before anybody was dragged, and she could really play guitar.
Anybody except for maybe Divine and apparently one of the Ericettes. But
Yeah, well, the documentary I just saw, Darcel, she was 80 at the time. and still living
Agreed.
strong in that lifestyle.
Yeah, and beautiful. Like, still doing her eye makeup, killing it. You know? So...
I saw a drag show once.
Sewing costumes. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
So, yeah. So, all right. So, anyhow, Prince was cremated. Ashes were scattered. The family won't divulge.
All right.
the
So,
location.
kind of boring.
So, another couple weird things. There was one time when he was young. He said he was known for epilepsy, is what he said when he was young.
Yeah.
He says, I used to have seizures. But he once walked up to his mom and said, Mom, I'm not going to be sick anymore. And she said, why? And he said, because an angel told me so. And apparently he had no more seizures after that.
I just want to punch this guy now. I just really want to punch this guy.
So you couple that with the spiritual epiphany that said No Black Album, right? And he was noted to just wake up in a dream with lyrics. And
Jesus Christ. There is not one syllable, not one scintilla of what you just said in the last 3 sentences that does not make me it drives me to violence.
That's what I'm saying. It makes him sound kind of like...
a prissy obnoxiousness.
No, a fucking crazy person who found a way to actually function in
They
society.
had medication to fix these problems.
Yeah, well, and some of it is heroin or opiate-based, which he died of. So fentanyl inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, he sounds like an affected child that was indulged a tad too much.
They did say Purple Rain was semi-autobiographical. There was lots of parent fights and things.
Oh,
But,
wow.
and he did end up,
So
he didn't
rough.
end up, like, when he was developing his very early career at 17 years old, he was not living with his parents. He bounced back and forth, and he ended up living with an aunt and a friend down the street. So there is a little tragedy, but the trick is that he apparently was a fucking workaholic, killed it, and was able to keep up with the times for about 30 years till he died.
Yeah,
And-
pretty good. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. 30-year rock musician career.
And that's why there's some of
That's
that
notable.
silly shit on the why Prince is an asshole side is that, like, what was it? Oh, he was a workaholic. That was on there. He didn't cry. He was a JW, which, okay. Oh, another thing. He was a vegan his entire life.
So what?
Just saying. That might be why he only weighed about 13.
Yeah, Moby's a vegan, and he's bald, and
And he
whatever.
weighs about 13.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? In 2 sentences, wrap up what you think about Prince.
I stand with where I started, that he may possibly be the only person that is as funky, if not funkier, than George Clinton. I think he made a dramatic effect on American music. And I think he was kind of a brilliant man. I don't think godlike is the word, but I think he was a brilliant man.
Okay, I'm going to go next so we can leave you with Rupert. We're just, that's going to be precious.
We've done an upbeat there.
I personally think that when you are good at something, you can be good at something. And you might have a certain responsibility to yourself, but it doesn't give you license to be an asshole to others.
My view?
Oh, yeah. Let's have it, baby.
Okay, because it's going to get hot in here.
Put on your seatbelts.
Okay, so my opinion is that Prince made some great music, made it for a very long duration. He kind of had some hit stuff going on, percolating along long after his peak. He was able to survive essentially as a solo artist for 30 years. He didn't
Well, to get that straight, he had
Are you interrupting me? This is the wrap
Yes,
up.
of course I'm fucking
Cut
interrupting.
that
Shut
mic.
up. He
Cut
had
that. I'm pulling the
two
plug on that.
major bands, and no, he always had backup people, so go ahead. Fuck you. Go ahead. Waiting.
So anyway, he did some very good stuff, and he did it for a protracted period of time, essentially as a solo act. It was never Prince it was just Prince. Okay? He played with some people other people for
The
a very long time.
Revolution, the New Power Generation. Go ahead.
So, that said, that's it. He's not anything beyond that. I don't really see anything where it's like he's this huge influence and everybody was copying him. I don't see him as this big breakout person who set a whole new trend and everything that everybody followed. He did set his own trend. That's true. Did he set some trend everybody else followed? I don't really think so. As far as the obnoxious, affected behavior, boo-hoo. Every rock star I can think of has some sort of dopey affectation and stuff. Down down to the trite and annoying thing of like, ooh, the Black Album. Who doesn't have the Black Album? AC/DC, the Black Album. Ooh, Metallica, the Black Album. Shut up.
No.
And Metallica puts out the Black Album. Oh, the Sellout Album. And Prince puts out the Black Album. Oh, it's too evil. Let me tell you something. When kids were hanging cats on Long Island in the early 70s, I went out and got the Blackest of the Black, the Satanic Bible, because they were all reading them, and I wanted to read it and see if it would make me go out and kill cats, and it didn't. So it's like, there you go. It's not that big a deal. He was a great rock performer, but he is not this singular amazingness, just fantastic thing. People are just going on and on about it because it sounds cool, because we have Facebook where we mourn the most insignificant death for fucking ever. Okay? So,
No,
ladies and gentlemen.
For 3 days, it's Facebook. That's not forever.
Whatever, it went on too long. It went on too long. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our show, and we hope you enjoyed your time here with us. If you have opinions that are divergent from ours, we would invite you to share them in the comments section of this post. And signing off until next time, when we destroy somebody else with unambiguous arguments based on little or no
Jesus,
information.
John, should I just cut him off?